I'm meteorologist Caitlin McGrath. We're joining you a little early this afternoon as we continue to track really significant severe thunderstorms moving across the region. These storms have a history of producing winds gusting 70 to possibly 80 miles per hour. Our biggest concern right now is for a storm that's moving through parts of Loudoun and Fauquier County. We'll zoom in a little bit closer here. We've got a lot of warnings kind of overlapping here, but it's this one in particular that includes Aldie down through Chantilly and over towards Sterling. That's where we have what's called a destructive tag on this warning. That's for winds that could be gusting up to 80 miles per hour. The strongest wind right now is kind of right over Sterling, right over the airport. You can see that big cluster of lightning that's crossing Route 50 as well. Always an indication of just how strong these storms are. But right now, Sterling heading into Reston. That's where the most powerful storm we're tracking right now is. But all of these storms, this entire line of severe thunderstorms is very strong. And again, that's why we have a number of severe thunderstorm warnings. It's just this one in particular that has that destructive tag on it, indicating winds gusting potentially up to 80 miles per hour. So I want to time out this storm because these storms have been holding together as they push to the east, and they're moving quickly, very quickly, about 45 to 50 miles per hour. So I want to time out when you can expect this storm to move into parts of Montgomery County. Right now, moving through Loudoun and into Fairfax County. The storm's going to move into Reston here in just a few minutes. And I would treat these severe thunderstorm warnings like a tornado warning. Seek shelter, get to a small interior room. A basement is your best bet if you can, but anywhere really away from windows. This is going to move into Great Falls shortly after 4 o'clock, Darnestown by 4:05, into Potomac by 4:08. So we'll show you what we have going on across the rest of the map as well, because again, we have severe thunderstorm warnings across this entire cluster of storms as it continues to approach the Metro DC area right during the evening commute. That is a big concern there. Now, I actually took off the lightning contour because it makes it kind of hard to see some of the roads and towns that are being impacted. We'll zoom in here to this our northernmost severe thunderstorm warning right now. That includes Fauquier, Loudoun, and Prince William County. That strong storm in Montgomery County as well. This is in effect until 4:45, just kind of clipping parts of southern Frederick County, impacting northern Montgomery County as well. Again, I took off the lightning contour so you can better see where this storm is, but it is packing a lot of lightning as well, in addition to that strong, potentially damaging wind and torrential rain. We do have a flood watch in effect for Montgomery County. So I'll kind of zoom things over here. You can see again, Buckystown, Tuscarora, Poolesville, Germantown. You're seeing the heaviest rain, thunder, and lightning right now as that storm continues to cross to 70. We'll time this one out as it pushes off to the east northeast again very quickly, around 45 to 50 miles per hour, putting the storm in Germantown here in just a few minutes. Montgomery Village by 4:06, into Lisbon by 4:10, and then it will continue to move out of our area. So we'll show you what's going on a little bit farther off to the south, because again, this is a really strong line, really well structured line, and it has warnings on it all throughout the DC area. Of course, we just showed you where we have that warning that includes the airport right now over by Dulles for the destructive warning until 4 o'clock. So that one should drop here in just a few minutes, but a much larger warning that extends all the way into the district until 4:45. So from Sterling down through Chantilly into Manassas, this storm is moving into Reston right now. And again, even if it doesn't have that destructive tag on it, we've still seen winds gusting anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour. A few reports of downed trees and power lines already starting to come in from Fairfax County. This storm's going to move into Fairfax here in really just a few minutes, into Tysons by 4:05, Rockville closer to 4:15, Georgetown shortly after that, right around 4:17. And again, these storms extend farther off to the south. We've got a really long, really powerful line of storms you can see impacting Manassas right now, over by Nokesville, Catlett, and Midland, right along Route 17 down into Goldvein, all seeing these strong and severe thunderstorms. That severe thunderstorm warning that includes DC, Fairfax, Montgomery, and Prince George's in effect until 4:45. So I'll kind of reset here, show you the bigger picture, and I put the lightning contour back on here so that you can see just how strong a lot of these storms are. And again, this is just our first line of storms we're going to be tracking tonight. It is the most powerful. We will see more storms later throughout the afternoon and evening, but not expecting anything quite of this magnitude, because again, within this line of storms, we've seen winds gusting widespread 50 to 60 miles per hour, but a few stronger storms possible that could see winds gusting up to 80 miles per hour. So that destructive tag, again, is what continues until 4 o'clock. It's more of a localized warning. You see a lot of these severe thunderstorm warnings are much bigger boxes that encompass a much bigger area, but the National Weather Service really honed in on this area in particular for that potential wind gusting up to 80 miles per hour. And actually the strongest part of that storm is actually about to move out of the area that is warned here. It's right over Sterling right now, moving into Reston, down towards Chantilly, that we've got the strongest wind associated with this storm. And at last check, it did kind of start to pulse down, or the wind wasn't as strong as it was just a few radar scans ago, closer to 3:45 this afternoon. But I still have no doubt that that storm isn't producing really powerful winds. So we'll see if they extend that destructive warning beyond the 4 o'clock hour. Now we still have the warnings off to the north that include Montgomery County, Frederick and Loudoun County here also until 4 o'clock. But if I had to guess, they'd kind of trim off the back of that warning and then extend it farther into Montgomery and points west. But right now, Germantown over near Barnesville, Poolesville, you not only have the heavy rain, thunder and lightning, but strong wind. This is clipping parts of Frederick County as well. Tuscarora, all of that lightning back toward Urbana right along 270. This is moving into Newmarket. And again, this continues to be under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. We'll take it down closer to the district. Again, this is a concerning time of day to be seeing storms like this. A lot of folks, of course, getting on the road, gearing up for their evening commute. It looked like they did just drop that destructive tag for that warning. So that is good news there. And we'll show you what's going on a little bit closer to the metro areas, because again, you can see these storms are just starting to approach the Beltway. No doubt going to make for difficult travel this evening. We know a lot of schools are now out, a lot of kids spending more time outside, and cannot emphasize that you need to treat these warnings like a potential tornado warning. You need to make sure you're seeking proper shelter, staying in a small interior room away from windows. A basement is best. I want to kind of time out this whole long storm for you here, because these storms are not weakening. Sometimes we see storms kind of punk out a little bit as they push farther to the east. That is not the case. We have no shortage of instability here with all of the heat and humidity. You can see these storms approaching the Potomac area here in just about 5 minutes, closer to Rockville by 4:10, into DC by 4:20. So just a few minutes to make sure you are getting to that safe space. If you have loved ones who you know are out and about, give them a call. Make sure they are aware that these storms are powerful and they are moving really quickly. Again, east at 45 to 50 miles per hour. That is a very fast moving storm. That is good news in that it reduces the flood risk. Yesterday we had really slow moving storms and we saw isolated flooding as a result. Quick moving storms really mitigate the flood risk. That's good news in that respect, but bad news in that you have less time to prepare. So these storms are moving into National Harbor closer to 4:22 and into Fairland by 4:25. So I'll give you the bigger picture here again, because this is impacting so much of our area and cannot emphasize enough. This is just round one. You might have the storms blow through, get a little bit of a break, but you do need to be prepared for some additional scattered to isolated storms later this evening. Right now, it looks like our only severe thunderstorm warning is a big one. It does include DC, Fairfax, Montgomery, and Prince George's County until 4:45. I do not see a destructive or a considerable tag on that. Destructive is for the winds gusting upwards of 80 miles per hour. Considerable is 70 miles per hour plus, but it still has a severe thunderstorm warning. So no doubt gusting anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour. You've got the heavy rain from Frederick County into Montgomery County. This powerful line of storms kind of moving out of Loudoun County and into Fairfax County. But off to the south, we do still have some heavy rain, thunder and lightning. Again, I did take the lightning contour off so that we can better see what towns and what streets are being impacted. But right now, Goldvein back into Manassas, Dale City, you have the heavy rain, thunder, lightning. You don't have a severe thunderstorm warning in the area right now, so that's a good indication that you're not seeing any very super damaging wind, I should say. Still probably quite gusty, but a severe thunderstorm warning that still includes Sterling, the worst of the storm moving out of that area. Fairfax down toward Manassas. You've got really heavy rain, thunder and lightning, and potentially some damaging wind. Of course, we're keeping a close eye on all of those damage reports as they come in. But right now from Reston down into Hunter, Oakton, Fairfax. You all have this really heavy, steady rain that's about to move into Tysons, Merrifield, over into McLean and Falls Church, and back toward Montgomery County, northern Montgomery County. Not under a severe thunderstorm warning anymore, but still seeing some powerful rain and winds with a big cluster of thunder and lightning in the area. I'm wondering if the control room, guys, do we have Eco 9 by any chance? We had Eco 9 head out into the Fairfax County area, and it looks like they might kind of be in the thick of where we do have this severe thunderstorm warning. So if we're able to get that live picture, just let me know. Otherwise, we'll focus on where we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 4:45 tonight. Again, that includes DC, Fairfax, parts of Montgomery, and Prince George's County. The strongest part of that storm is moving through Fairfax now. It's going to be into Montgomery and the district here relatively shortly, and then eventually Prince George's County a little bit later. So we'll track that storm for you again as it moves very quickly. We do not typically see storms moving at this forward motion of 45 to 50 miles per hour. So you really do need to take the time now, take the next few minutes to make sure you're talking to your loved ones. If you can, make sure they're getting to a safe location, because this storm is going to be into Olney closer to 4:17, into DC by 4:20 shortly after that. Laurel, you can expect this storm to come rumbling through by 4:30 this afternoon, and into Bowie by 4:43.